Let's do it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rockin' Beers podcast. It's your boy HSR.
What up, it's Syd.
It's Christen.
And we are back with another discussion tonight. So for those of you that are new here, we're going to take this album that we're going to talk about, and we're going to go through it track by track, giving our thoughts, and it's long, and that's just how we do it.
And you can skip ahead to the end if you just want to hear the recap.
If you do, but before you do, we just want to let you know that we do have a Patreon now, so a big shout out to Mozart, and our newest patron, Lindell Williams. And now both of these guys are participating in our request raffle, which is in the first week of every month. Everybody in this tier gets to put in a request, and we go on live. We're going to randomly pick one of the requests, and we're going to do that review that month. And we're going to do this each month, and it's a way to kind of cut the line and get your more obscure choices that we might not otherwise be so inclined to pick, kind of cut to the top. You also get early access, and we'll send you an email with some fun factoid related to the day that you signed up. Okay. We also love your comment interactions
Really?
and stuff. Yeah, that's a new tier thing.
Interesting.
I'm coming up with ideas here, so if
I
you
like
guys
it.
Does it have to do with music, or is it just like
just anything,
today in
I was gonna go to
1945?
the Wikipedia facts of the day page and grab
Oh my
something.
God.
Like,
National KK.
no, I wanted it to be like something that came out on that day, like news or something. Like I found kittens born in like Iowa or some shit like that. Anyway,
I like how you're trying to inception Iowa into my head right now.
I just forgot about that. That just goes to show the programming of all that other shit. I want to do Iowa next time.
He wants to do Iowa next
By
time.
Slipknot, if you're not clear. But still, if you guys feel what we do, you can always subscribe to the channel, like the video if you're down, leave a comment, and join the conversation on what you feel. And if you do, you'll be entered in a future contest where we give away Amazon gift cards and requests. And we just finished our last one where we give them out, and we're not doing the requests from that. And once that's done, we'll announce the new contest. But to show that we care about all the comments, we do have our favorite comment from last week, and I mean, it just feels like week after week, we know the homeboy is there to get us. Lindell Williams on, what was it, Coheed and Cambria. Syd, say the name of the title, please.
Wait, what was it? In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth,
3.
3.
Oh.
Okay, whatever, that one. Lindell goes, this album has a kind of, and I'm inserting Deltron here, Deltron 3030 lingo to it. I feel like it would have to check the story of the album to get a better picture in my head. You really should read the comics. It helps your life.
They're really good.
Yeah, about the content of the songs, but overall it was a pretty good album. Some albums you may be interested in throwing in your reviews. See, we do request and stuff, so Lindell's requesting. And Alan Parsons, iRobot, he wrote more for a more famous group you may know, Starbuck, Moonlight Feels Right. That one's for Syd. That's Syd over there across the
Syd.
table.
That's me.
Because it's just funk with a
Hi,
hint of
Syd.
rock.
Lindell knows me.
Yep.
Damn.
The Red House Painters, it's late 90s, 20s. I'm sure Christen, that's her, will like this. Okay, and welcome back, because she's back.
I'm
and
back.
enjoy. So that was Lindell's comment. I'll read it to you. So if you put preposterous shit, maybe I read it. I don't know. Maybe we respond to it.
Maybe you get to know me and give me suggestions like Lindell just did. Spot on. Winner.
That's true. So why don't we move into talking about this week's album? So since it was Christen over here who wanted it, why don't you tell us, everyone, what album it is that we're going to talk about?
We are going to talk about Issues.
Talking to the mic, Christen.
We are going to talk about Issues from Korn. You talk in your mic, Syd.
I'm louder than you.
Sid just dominates. It's like you have to crank
It's
him way
ridiculous.
down after.
Just, yep.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so Christen,
Are you-
how long
Can't
have you
keep
been
me
a
down.
Korn fan?
Not that, like 2-3 years maybe, because, yeah.
That's it?
Well, yeah, that's when I discovered it. Hey, I just turned 20, you know.
Yeah,
Man, I've been listening to Korn since I was like 11.
that's you.
I know.
Not everyone has access to Korn
Okay,
music.
I'm curious, guys. Was Korn not the angry teenager anthem band for you? Because for
No.
me in high school, that was the band that angry teenagers gravitated towards the most.
Listen, I went to a European French school, so you don't
Mais
hear
le-
about Korn from there.
I mean-
Parce que il faut écouter du Korn.
I mean, but it's just like, even to that end, there were a lot of metal bands that got brought up, and depending on where you're at, I bet Korn was in that emo group, actually, kind of made fun of at my school, like of
Interesting.
bands that you wouldn't. You'd be like, I was okay with them, But because of lines like, keep in mind, I'm in high school when they literally dropped Here to Stay, so I take my time gliding that blade down the line, each cut closer to the vein.
Bleed.
You got to imagine that this didn't go over well with the hip-hop crowd in my school or the metalhead crowd in my school, both of which kind of branded this style as like emo. However, everybody liked the anthem by Good Charlotte. Like across the board, the anthem by Good Charlotte was like loved by all.
It's interesting that they didn't fit in with the hip hop crowd because they
new metal. Korn is like from what I understand, they're on a list of like cultural appropriators and all sorts of other stuff. And
they also have a really sick song with Ice-T, Ice Cube. Children of the Corn.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
I don't remember which
So,
one. They
know-
also have a sick song with Nas called "Play Me." They fucked with hip hop. Like that's where new metal comes from. And if you don't know what new metal is, it is metal
know
mixed
that
with
there's a
hip-hop.
camp of hip hop that can't stand it, and a camp of hip hop that fucks with it. So it's not necessarily like a uniform thing. And this is all stuff I've learned on Google in the last like week or so. So bear with me if I'm a little bit off. I just I'm curious now, like just the legacies of these bands that were tied, especially somebody like Korn, who's been around since what, 93, I think.
You want to know the legacy of Korn? You look at, so it started with Faith No More, right? In the 80s. Sorry. Real quick.
What is this?
Real quick. What is this? Faith No More in the 80s, and then Korn came along, and they didn't want to be metal, but they got lumped into the metal group, even though they were just trying to do real heavy funk, and then that gave birth to new metal, which was Deftones, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Incubus. All these bands owed their existence to Korn and Faith No More prior to that. So that's their fucking legacy.
That's fair.
Win.
I'm not going to dispute that because it coincides with what Wikipedia also told me. So there you go. Syd was on point there, I guess.
I'm glad that
However,
Wikipedia agrees
comments is a great place for you to correct us, offer your opinion, dispute our ideas of what facts are, and go at it. Great place to go in. So I'm assuming now we have Syd as the Korn fan who's listened to a whole bunch of Korn. Christen is apparently new to Korn.
Newer, but been
like,
listening to it a lot.
How many albums have you listened to by this band?
I'd say 5 or 6, but 3 of them really well, extensively, over and over till, yeah.
And you, Sydney, how many albums have you listened to?
Have I listened to or...
Wait, how many are there?
There's like
There's a lot of them.
A lot.
They consistently
I
release
think they're on
records
like
every
12
2
or
or 3
13.
years.
Like 12 or 13 now?
I've heard all of them.
Ah, so all of them.
I mean,
how many of you
How
like,
many am I
Spotify
fans
playlist.
of? Not all of them.
Same.
Okay.
Look, Korn is a band that I stopped listening to when I became an adult, and it's no disrespect. Like I like them.
How
I
do
like
you
what
define
they
adult?
do.
What's becoming an
That's
adult?
That's fair. That's fair.
So Syd outgrew Korn is what he's trying to say.
And they're one of the few bands, right, that I can say that happened with.
Okay.
And I still listen to Slipknot for context, and that's
okay.
another band that you could easily say are immature or whatever.
I don't know. They're not the same at all to me. I would say it's easy.
You want to talk about Slipknot's first record? A lot of Korn in that.
That's fair, but I don't know enough about the lyrics to all the albums to make fair comparisons because I've only listened to 2 Korn albums, 3 Korn albums in full, and by in full I mean like heard them all.
Which ones?
So there was
Thanks.
the Untitled one with the little funny dude on the cover with Evolution on it.
The bird thing.
That was my second Korn album, which was around the time I bought the Greatest Hits album, Volume 1, with the one with another brick in the wall and shit.
Does not count as a Korn album. Sorry.
So yeah, that's my like one I spent time with. So I got all the singles down, and I got a lot of singles that I got to know. And
I
then,
mean, they have an impressive collection.
Time has passed, and now all this time later, having bumped a few of those singles, I think "Got the Life" is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Got the Life is a really good
it's
song.
like- Fantastic.
It's just. It was my ringtone even back in the ringtone
Ooh.
days. Like that's how you know it was some legit shit. It's just so funky.
Yeah, it's super funky.
And then I listened to Issues this week, and that would be my whole like Korn experience. So I know a lot of the singles, like a fair bit. I mean, I know Narcissistic Cannibal, so I know that exists, and I like it. I think Skrillex should play with Korn more often. That was fun. But I gotta I don't know. I think
That record's
Jonathan
fun.
Davis has one of the coolest voices I've ever heard. I remember when the guitarist quit the band. It caused quite the fiasco, and there were lots of people upset about this.
It did, but that record that came out, "See You on the Other Side," is, again, I'll say it, one of the most underrated Korn records, and one that I can actually still listen to this day, because it's so different from the rest of their discography. Even taking into account, what the fuck was the Skrillex record called? The Paradigm Shift?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Way to go, guys. You almost outdid yourselves, but you
That's
didn't.
cool. So yeah,
Sorry.
This is how Syd is.
Syd Nicole.
I stay serious. Kristen will talk more as time goes on. This is our podcast.
Oh yeah, well, Dead.
Such
Is that the name of
enthusiasm.
the first album? The first song?
we're not
Dead?
even close to
We're
there
not
yet.
even-
Shit, we didn't even talk about
Oh,
the
fuck, we
title
gotta talk about
and
the
the
title and
cover.
shit.
All we did was present context to these fine people who may be bigger fans than me. So Issues is an interesting title. It lets you know there's a little bit of fucked upness going on in Mr. Davis's mind. The phrase "he has issues" comes to mind when I hear the title.
Right.
And we will
Which,
hear about
if
them.
you had been listening to Korn up until this point, obviously.
That's true. And then there's this doll on the cover that's kind of got like where its heart would be is poofy and torn, and its eyes falling off, and it's sad looking. And it also looks like it's gonna pop up in a video game and fuck you up after being enchanted by a magician. Throwing it out there. And I like the orange and like the mural painting feel of it all. That's my thoughts on it. So I actually think that Korn is really good with album covers. I like this album cover. It is one of those ones where you see it once and you never forget it because it's just kind of out there. And
It's very
What's the
orange.
cover to Life is Peachy look like? I always get them mixed up.
I don't know.
That's
Wait,
their second record.
Spotify.
that's the one with all the faces on it?
No, that's Untouchables.
Yeah, you're right. So
Life
There's a lot of looking up to do.
is
um,
Peachy.
I'm gonna just
Okay, no, they don't look anything alike, but for some reason I always mix them up.
Because peachy orange.
So yeah, that's that.
Maybe.
We
Maybe
had
that's
that
the connection I'm
conversation.
making.
Psychology.
So it doesn't look like Life is Peachy was the grand revelation of this moment.
Great. Next.
So yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on this aside from that? No.
well, I wonder,
Yes?
did they actually? Is there a specific purpose to their?
Do you guys know the story behind the cover, YouTube people?
I'm actually.
Let us know.
Interested.
All right, cool. You would make Kristen very happy, and she should talk at the mic.
Wikipedia has a lot of things. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. I
It
think
wasn't
it's cool.
explicitly written on any of those wiki pages.
No.
That's because I was. I can tell you haven't.
Off your game, you fucking crowdsourced piece of shit. I love
Yeah,
Wikipedia.
so
I
let's
use
talk-
it every day.
Okay, so we're going nowhere now. Dead. This
Dead.
conversation is dead. Fun fact: Jonathan Davis plays bagpipes. I learned that.
Whoa.
Amazing! I was so excited to hear bagpipes. Wasn't expecting it, and the strange juxtaposition of the happy and uplifting bagpipes with Jonathan Davis's dreariness, that made for an interesting opener that got me going. I can instantly see why everyone hated Korn, and why.
He also spent a large portion of his career wearing a kilt for every concert and every music video.
Is he Scottish?
He is Scottish, yeah.
And I say that with no disrespect. Bonnie, the girl I'm dating, is Scottish, so I've got no.
So
beef with
there's
it.
that.
But like in general, just the way it came in, I thought it was so cool. I really liked it. I mean, it's a couple minutes long here, and then he kind of has layered vocals, and it's experimental, and it's interesting to listen to. And all I want in life is to be happy, happy. It seems funny to me how fucked things can be. Every time I get ahead, I feel more dead. And that's all the words, but the way they just repeat them and they layer them, and it kind of sounds like he really is good at conveying the idea of voices in your head.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. It was cool, but it wasn't amazing. It was like a fun little intro to this album. I'm even as a 4 on 5 because I could listen to this again, but it would definitely not be the first thing I would throw on off this album unless I was doing a proper playthrough.
Well, it's like an intro. It's not. I feel like it's not a full song that you would just put on and.
And it's cool because...
Some intros
Please continue.
are stellar. But yes, please continue.
No, I found it very. Well, it's kind of ironic. It's almost playing on like, oh, I feel more dead, right?
Yeah.
And it's very, and the whole bagpipe things to me the first time was like, oh, more a funeral type thing, right? And it's
Okay.
like,
Right.
hey, I'm dying, guys. This is cool. But as an opener, this is the first full album I listened to from Korn. Before I would just like I had heard the hits, and then like I had heard from like some people of not my generation. Oh, got Korn. I don't really know it, but it's this dark stuff. And then I heard that, and it was like, what am I getting into? Until the next track.
It's definitely very dark. But so
Eerie dark.
this is
yeah.
the first record where they had actual interludes sprinkled throughout the record. Like they had them attached to other tracks on their first record, but they never really had set in stone interludes between the songs, like minute long. And this is, I think, their only record to date where they have an intro like this. Every other record starts with a song, bang.
Okay.
And I will say, Korn is always really good at starting a record. And I don't think this is an exception. I really like this intro because it kind of builds you up to the creepiness of the next song, which, spoiler alert, is falling away from you. I like it. I like it more than a lot of intros. I'm going to give it a 4.5 on 5.
Oh, I didn't rate it.
Oh, my bad.
4.5, yeah.
All right. That's
It's going to
fine.
be one of those nights where you just give the same grade to every song.
That's okay. That's how it starts, and then you start realizing that's a weird way to approach reviewing, and you start giving different grades.
That was some shade. Low-key
No.
shade. That's a weird way to review.
No, it's
What's your
cool.
response?
It's
Rebuttal.
Cool.
I
It's
don't know
cool.
my mindset, what
You
I'm
know what?
thinking.
I'm just falling away from you.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. All right, Kristen, how do you feel about this song?
Very good.
Syd, let Kristen talk.
I'm away from the mic, though.
Falling away from the mic.
So how I feel about this?
Shut up, Syd. Okay, go, Kristen.
I think it's a very good. Was this one of their hits? No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, it's okay. Well, definitely hit material. It was really good. I like that sentence. Flirt with suicide. I think it's.
You flirt with
Yeah.
suicides.
I don't know. The first time I heard it, it was like, okay, this is
Way
interesting.
to
But,
romanticize killing yourself, man.
well, yeah.
I would
You know
debate
what?
that yes, but it's also a little more than that. But go on, Kristen.
So I mean, I think you're probably going to talk a lot about the lyrics too, but I think we read in the same place, and supposedly the song is about abuse, and depending on who annotated the lyrics, I mean,
And
there
the
are
music video.
different. Oh yeah, I didn't see that one. Yeah, I mean, different kinds of abuse, right? Versus physical or psychological, or verbal.
abuse.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's really cool, and the bridge too, especially where there's like it's not really screaming, but it's not screaming. It's kind of just.
It's that Jonathan
He's-
Davis
it's-
thing
yeah,
that he
it's
does.
his thing, and
very
I think
cool.
that's really, really great. And yeah, I don't know, I'd give it a 5.
Fair enough. All right. Now, would you like to go, Sydney?
Okay, I guess I'll go. I really, really like this song a lot. This was one of my favorite songs when I was 14. Fun fact, there is a video of Korn performing, I think it's Woodstock 99, where they played a version of this song before they had finished writing it. A lot of it sounds like improvising. There's an extra verse. So that's really cool. It's on YouTube. In terms of the song, this really showcases the two guitarists' abilities to play off each other, where one is doing kind of like a chunky rhythm underneath, like a like a kind of a squealy, effects-laden guitar line. They do it a lot, but it always works. And the chorus to this song is so big and so unforgettable. So this is a 5 on 5 for me.
All right, fun. So, trivia time. And I might be wrong. It might not be this single. And if I am, sorry, Internet. But do you know when this song got premiered? In the fucking South Park episode that Korn had their Scooby-Doo mystery
Yes.
on.
Really?
On the
Yes,
boat at
that's
the
true.
end. That was the premiere of this very song to promote the album.
I can
and I
confirm
learned
that.
a lot about how Jonathan Davis used the internet and creative marketing tactics that other people in music have pirated off and piggybacked on forever. And it was like Korn is one of the first people to do vlog-styled episodes building up to an album, as an example.
Also, if you haven't seen that episode, please go watch it. It is amazing.
It's pretty good. And yeah, so that was just fun trivia because who doesn't fucking like trivia? The music video is corny but effective in its point.
Corny.
I get it. So like you have this like girl who's getting beat by dad or whatever, and like they have dad spanking her, and it's kind of she's got like a really wet face crying, and then she's this little box, and Korn is doing the proper nu metal dance that I love. It inspired me way more than I thought, that nu metal dance. I was watching Korn doing it and going, "Fuck, I need better moves," but I love it still. So he's looking in the box, and then at the end, Korn and the band start playing in the room and making a lot of noise, and this seals the door while the girl escapes. And then Korn runs away with her and goes back in the magic box. And meanwhile, there's a lot of Korn fans going like this in front of the window. And then all the Korn fans run away. And you think they're gonna kick the shit out of the dad, like you know, beat him down. No, he just opens the door and there's just like Korn's instruments are here, and that was the end. And I'm like, it went from already kind of corny to like freaking corny in that moment. but that doesn't change
It
the
was
fact
the
that
90s, man.
the song is pretty good. No, but like, hey, I'm feeling tired. My time is gone today. You flirt with suicide. Sometimes that's okay. I fucking wrote a chorus that may as well be on the same vein of what Jonathan Davis is saying recently. I kind of get this. I realized that, like, I vibe to lines like that still to this day. Sometimes you just wake up and you're in a weird, maybe not you. I am dealing with my shit, but sometimes
But
you
it's
wake
okay
up.
to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You wake up, you're in a weird mood, and sometimes life just isn't so simple
Hey,
in the
I'm
morning.
feeling tired.
And like, do what others say. I'm here standing hollow, falling away, and falling away from me. Like, it's just. At first, I was expecting it to be kind of drivel. And then it was like, no, Jonathan's got some issues going on that he's trying to work through. And this is more on that, like, honest side of emotional poetry where you can tell the protagonist is actually experiencing some kind of turmoil in the words they're writing, rather than more of the angsty side where it's about attention. This is about expression. And
But it's
Not to
simple,
say that
too.
it's not super angsty, because it is.
well, yeah, and I'm not trying to, like, say that, but I don't think he was trying to be. I think this was his therapy. I think he was one of those
It
guys.
sounds
He had
like
already
it
done
throughout the
3
whole
full
thing,
albums
but-
of it at this point.
Yeah, but just
and would
because.
continue on to do at least 6 more.
But to be fair, like, even if you become successful, that doesn't make it easier.
No, absolutely not.
And so I respect the fact that I get the feeling he was just trying to be honest. Like, he flirts with suicide sometimes to kill the pain. I can't always say it's going to be better tomorrow. I mean, sometimes you just want somebody to admit that that's fucking true, because everyone's always trying to put up this wall of fucking fake positivity and shit.
But that's what's nice about it. It's just simple, and it's not. It's very like straightforward. But yet again, well, it's here anyway.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, keep going.
I forgot. You interrupted
Damn
me.
it, Sid.
I didn't even speak.
Yeah, but you're distracted. Okay, it's fine. Anyway, and then you got like the chorus, which is just beating me down, and it's just like you get the sense that it really is just like life grating on you, and it kind of, as much as it might be about abuse, it really could just be about anything kicking the shit out of you day in day out. And then you got his spastic little bridginess, try save me, don't walk away, so I pray. Go away, less. It's just kind of freaking out a bit. It's a little bit cheesy, but I give this a 5. The bass line is phenomenal. The riffs in this song are like, they get stuck in your head. The way it almost feels progressive in nature is really cool, in light of the fact that it's
Sure, I can see that.
like, it's not a boring song. It's got a deep level of composition. A lot of effort went in. At first, it sounds like they just tuned down to be cool, and then you realize they're just experimenting. But
Actually, they tuned down to A.
yeah. So at first it's because like I could see how a lot of people look at Korn like an entry level metal band, because they're like hard enough to be hard, but soft enough that a newbie could enjoy them.
Another thing I will say on that note is that Korn are one of the first metal bands to tune down that low and to use 7-string guitars and 5-string basses, which is now common practice in metal. But in 1994, nobody was fucking doing that. And then Korn came along. Hey, there's people outside.
Yeah.
And Korn did it. Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on then to Trash. That guy outside is loud as trash.
I tell my lies and I despise every second I'm with.
Okay.
So Korn wrote a song about groupies. But not like in the way rap writes about groupies,
No.
but in like the opposite sense, where they've been there, they've done that, and now they're addicted to this thing that they no longer want to be a part of. These girls throw themselves at Korn, which I guess it sounds like a strange problem to have if you're in a certain context in life, but I could imagine how if you're trying to be good and pure and literally everywhere you went, girls are throwing themselves at you, it must be a little bit distracting and annoying.
The song also sounds entirely like pedophilia.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Very
I think
much.
I think that Korn is just trying to kind of creepify their lyrics a bit, but I don't know. I mean, at this point, they're late 20s, mid 20s at least, and they probably got these 18-year-old girls showing up to their shows, legal enough, not pedophile at all, based on whatever. But you're still gonna look at them and be like, they're kind of little girls in your perception. So I understand the point he's trying to drive home is these people are too young to really be involved with it. I don't know. I think
The other thing, you got to remember, he was molested as a child, right? So this isn't even the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time that they broached this subject matter.
which
like
is
this.
fine. This is
It's
the first
fine.
time.
It's
I
just be
heard it.
aware if you're going to be listening to Korn.
Sheesh.
I feel
This
like you'll
does
have a
happen.
problem that it keeps coming up, but
This is
It's a little weird that it keeps coming up.
I don't know if
like
that's
to this
true.
day.
Because if you think about it, there's still only very recently has it even really gotten attention as a real issue. So if you're a band trying to for real, up until the mid 2000s when that big celebrity pornographic sex thingy happened, it wasn't really a mainstream topic that people were willing to go into. In the mid 2000s when the church got caught, and then all of a sudden it was a thing. But prior to that, it was swept under the rug, and it wasn't really brought up in pop mainstream shit the same way.
In music, maybe.
No, in all things. Like it's not like no. I'm telling you, go find me where in the '90s this was the hot topic. Like I don't remember this. I don't remember seeing this. I've been I'm pretty into like this kind of culture and like watching for this stuff. And all the records show in the mid 2000s all this stuff kind of pops up as like a big issue. Okay. So if Korn has gone through this kind of stuff, it's advocating, right? He's saying this is important to me. It's not getting the attention it needs. It's his version of change.org. He's going to keep bringing it back until the change happens, right?
well, I think too if his albums are really personal, like you were saying, right? Like his therapy in a way for certain songs. I mean, it's not something that not like people will take lightly and be like, oh, this happened. Okay, we'll write one song about it. I'm good. Like if that's one of the main things in his life that traumatized him in many different ways. Like there's so much to write about and so much material. So I mean, it's not a bad thing.
Not really about pedophilia.
No.
It's about groupies and self-indulgence.
I'm not saying the song is about pedophilia.
No,
but
just
the lyrics sound suspiciously like
Yeah, no, they do.
they really do.
They do. I thought this was
These
really.
little girls.
I thought this was something about. Yeah, I thought it was about something else when I first heard it, but
I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I just kind of looked at it like weird, like the way like I looked at it like shock rocky in terms of the lyrics, where it's supposed to be intentionally creepy and weird. But when I heard little girls, I actually just pictured like these 18, 19-year-old groupies who are just kind of blinded by the idea of Korn being around. And I actually kind of took it in a more innocuous sense, but
I thought it was through the perspective of someone else at the beginning. The first time I heard it, the first few times.
I thought it was through the perspective of a trashy pedophile.
Yeah,
I thought that's why it was called trash.
But I read on some other sites, like, I mean, it's all theories, right? People are just saying what they think it is, or there was some interview too, apparently, but what he was saying was it was more about when he would go on tour, how he would sleep with a lot of people, and a lot of them were groupies, and the thing was he was like... it just made it worse for him in the end. And he was saying, right, I can't help but rape your feelings, right? Like, and I don't feel the same. And you're trash to me. Like, you're nothing. I don't even know why. And I run away, and you still say, like, what's wrong with you, right? So
I don't have to do the lyrical anything here. Kristen's got this one.
I got this one.
It's pretty much anything I was gonna say.
I don't know. I think I really like the way he delivered it. Especially at the beginning. It's really, like, just creepy. It's not like, oh, I'm just singing a song. It was saying, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super interesting. Like, the idea that he addresses on the fact that he's in a position in life where he can degrade people to this level and they still worship him. I mean, that's a perspective you just don't hear very often. Maybe Korn does it a lot. You don't hear that perspective that often in rock. You don't hear it in rap. You don't hear guys going, shit, I might be a sex addict and I'm treating you like shit. Like
He is a sex
But
addict.
it's
That's
cool
he's
that
had
they're
to
not,
deal with.
like,
he's basically
prideful.
saying, holy shit, I'm a misogynist way before it was cool to say that, like, or I don't know if it's cool to say that, but way before it was a word people even knew the definition of. So, like, I just got to, like, throw it out there and give him the kind of props on it. I think he's trying to, like, become more self-aware here, and it's cool. Like, I mean, it's still corny. Like, I don't know why I'm so fucking cold. I don't know why it hurts me. All I want to do is get with you and make the pain go away. But then again, when you go out there and have a one-nighter or whatever shit you do when you're feeling fucked up and whatever, that's basically the whole line of reasoning you have. So he's hitting he's hitting it proper. He's expressing real shit. He's doing it right in terms of this musicking thing. I'm impressed, honestly. I like the way the creepy. It doesn't sound like the last song. It sounds a little calmer. Like you've now into the journey of this album. It's a 4.5 to me.
I mean, to me, the verses are very, very similar in terms of sound. This song has always felt a little bit like Korn by Numbers to me. And I know you guys have not
No, it's just there's always the by numbers comment.
but it happens, right? And especially with a band that has released as much music as Korn has, and they have such a distinct sound, and they've never really left it as much as they've tweaked it, and they've tried little things to make it, a little more interesting, a little different. They have their sound, right? After the third record, which was the one before this, they really solidified that songwriting technique, and they just kind of pushed forward with that up until today, where they're still doing it. Which, again, mad respect for them still being around. Love, their last record was fine.
Trash.
Let's talk about trash. The rips are fine. It's not quite there for me in terms of any sort of hook, especially not to Korn standard. It's a 3.9 for me.
And you?
This is the song that got me into the album because I saw
Totally
Trash
different
and
perspective.
I was like, what is this? Yeah, I know. Surprisingly.
Shoot.
So I would give it a 5 just because it was the first song and I really, really, really liked it and it made me like the album. So yeah.
Awesome.
Solid
Thank you
5.
so much, Christen. I appreciate you talking and sharing with us.
Have you guys ever heard Adidas?
This one's for you. So this is the first interlude song thing, and when I first heard it, and the first time I played through this album, it was not interesting or fun for me. I've now listened to this album about 5-6 times, and it's really cool now compared to the first time I listened to it. It's a little break, a little subdued kind of experimentally kind of sounds. We have the soothing voice of Mr. Davis. This shit right here is for you. All your faces I can see. You all think it's about me. I'm about to break, and this is my fate. Am I still damned to a life of misery and hate? You will never know what I've done. What you all put me through, I do it for you. I could never have lived if it wasn't for you.
This is for the fans.
For you. For
Isn't
you.
he nice to tell you that?
It's kind of a twisted compliment. It's a compliment that does. It's in the compliment. He's like, you don't fully appreciate me,
It's not a compliment.
but it is still.
It is.
It's like it's like the. I guess this is his love-hate relationship because he's agoraphobic.
Yeah.
And this is something that he developed by this point in his career. See, I googled shit.
Apparently by touring, the more he was around people, the more.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be with them, which makes sense.
And so you can imagine how he wouldn't be in this position to be the Korn guy if it wasn't for the fans and their love of him and his people, the Korn group. And honestly, it's a cool little ode to it's an appreciation given Korn style. Like I can see how hardcore, diehard Korn fans wouldn't want Jonathan Davis to compliment them without that left-handed sting of a twisted darkness to it.
No.
But I think it's a nice little ditty here, a little break. It's a 4 on 5 for me.
Well, doesn't he say at the end too, like, I couldn't live if it wasn't for you?
Yeah.
Well, it's like kind of complimenting them, but yeah, at the same time.
So,
Like,
yeah,
this is
it's a
all I
yin and
have.
yang, it's a
Like,
give and
yeah,
take.
this is all it's
But
an
it-
interesting turn sonically.
Yes,
It is.
That's a good way to put it.
It
No,
is.
I mean, I liked it, but it kind of, I feel like it defines what the album is about, mostly.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Whether you agree or
No,
not.
I fully
because
agree.
it feels a lot about it, and reading a lot of the commentary, it's about what was happening when he was touring and how he was just like losing his mind. So it's like an interesting interlude that kind of goes down and then is like, hey, you know what? I'm going crazy and like this is just for you. Like leave me alone, but because I'm dying. And yeah, I would give it like a 4.5.
That's cool.
I also give this one a 4.5 because this is cool because this was the first time that Korn had ever done something like this again, right? These little interludes, and it was. I'm sorry for going back into.
How does
into
the
the
song
history.
sound, Sydney?
I was explaining that this is the first time Korn had ever done something that
This is what
sounded like
impressed
this.
Sydney about the song.
Focus. A band's history is important. When you're talking about a retrospective, you have to go before it and after it to get the full context. Okay?
Let's see.
Okay.
Good.
So, see what context.
So, it's a super psychedelic little interlude. They'd never done anything like that before, so it was very, like, it's different. You don't expect it listening to a Korn record. You do now, but back then you didn't. So I give this one a 4.5 on 5. Fuck you. Next.
Yeah. So big for me, please. So, I just wanted to comment while we were talking about that interlude. It really serves well as an intro thematically for this exact very song, which is another one about the fans, as I understand it. Right? No commentary. Okay. Everyone is looking at me. I can't get out of bed. There is evil in my head. Everyone just let me be, because when I hit the stage, it is gone and I am free. Right? Because it's like almost in a quite literal sense. He has the anxieties and blah, 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 and then he gets on the stage. God damn, you say you'll get up for me. You're the crowd. Come back. Come on, give it to me. Feel the shame. I'm not insane. The things I feel now aren't the same. Who gives a fuck if my life sucks? I just know one day I won't give up. Everyone just let me be. I think it's interesting how almost like flips it from like appreciation of the fans and the different like twisted appreciation, and he moves it into more of this like, holy fuck, I really don't know how to be a celebrity. I'm really fucking bad at this, actually. Holy shit, y'all want my attention and my time, and y'all want me, and y'all beg for me. It's almost like the least Marilyn Manson way to like use the term beg for me. Like, it's just the opposite of what I would feel like if he had done it. This is more like this, I don't want the attention almost, but I'm addicted to like being on this stage and to making this music and stuff. And he just manages to paint being famous as something you actually don't want. And that's particularly interesting to me. But as far as songs goes, I just like this one a little bit less. It felt like there was just less energy to it. It was a little more hollow as far as the music and stuff went. Like a little less of that cool dynamicism that I felt was there in the earlier songs. So I get this one a 3.75. I could deal without this one.
I think it's kind of again like kind of where what For You goes into, which is this thing of like his career basically, right? And who he is and in his career, how it like messes him up. But this is more like, that's the one thing that keeps me going, right? So when he's on stage, everything goes away. And I think, as you were saying too, like, I was reading another commentary on this, and it's kind of like, that's what he feeds on, is people, right? Like screaming his name and like begging for him. But only when he's really there in the moment, and then when he's gone, he's like mind fucked again, and everything just sucks. And it's like, let me be, leave me alone. You're all fucking insane, and you're just on top of me. And you know, and it says too, like, you won't be there for me, but like beg for me. Right. So it's kind of just saying like what, like, I think what you were playing into, like, what, I don't even know how to do this. What is this? And then for the song itself, I mean, I find it a little bit different than the others that we listened to. It's not particularly fantastic, but it's not bad. It's kind of intense, but like
It's
lyrically, not musically.
I like this one musically more than Trash, for example, because it's got more groove to it.
Okay.
Which is something that Korn are really good at. And I think
It's
that's
a good headbanging.
yeah. I mean that's one of their core strengths, right? Is to have that funky kind of boppy, and they do that. You know, it's a linear groove all the way through the song, but it really works. Lyrically, yeah. I mean, it's hard for people who aren't touring famous musicians to relate to a touring famous musician complaining about being a touring famous musician, right? And that's. Is a little bit detrimental to this record too. So
I think that,
meh.
like,
But at the same time, like, I get it, and it's universal enough the way he writes it out.
You know what it reminded me of? The way you were speaking there. I've seen a lot of YouTubers complaining about this shit lately, about how people treat them fucking like objects in this regard, where they...
Yeah.
This Korn song is the anthem of YouTubers who are being harassed by fans.
And the thing is, Korn were way, 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 way more famous when this came out than these YouTubers are now, because there's no way that any of them could attain that level of success. It just doesn't exist anymore.
Completely
right?
agree with you.
So there is, it's a double-edged sword for this record, because it's a theme that runs through it, and it's not quite as relatable as their first three records, because their first three records really were songs about everyday depression, high school bullying. parental abuse.
Well, I think this one was very personal for him. It was more about what was going on in his head, and it was really about like figuring out what was
they all
happening
are.
during his tour.
All of their records
Yeah.
are that, because that's what he writes about.
Oh, but
But this one more, I feel like it's about that one specific thing, and as much as it's not relatable, it can be in the sense that it's kind of screaming like, "Hey, I'm human," and you know
Yeah.
what, like the industry and the moment of performing, and I've probably too you've experienced it through performing, right? So minor, but it's like you have your real life, and suddenly when you're there, shit is completely different. And then if you have fans or like groupies to add on top of that who are like just completely, you're not human anymore, you're just, you know, that.
Yeah.
And then gets off again, and it's like, what's wrong with you? And you know, but like it's addictive at the same time. I don't know. So it's like the angry song of the album
which
about this.
is a very valid point. Another thing to think about is he's obviously self-aware and critical of like his peers and the ethics of things, as we'll come to see. He's obviously seeing the narcissism running through his colleagues, other metal bands he's on tour with, the way they treat people and stuff. And
I don't remember whether they were having a feud with Limp Bizkit at this point. They might have been.
Right. That was but even to that end, they were clearly like and then even from the other side, you have bands like Slayer and them who are just probably invalidating their existence because from what I could understand, they were not fans of nu metal or anything that realm of music. I know specifically the Slayer guitarist went after quite a few of these bands. I don't know if Korn was specifically listed, but that they're getting a lot of press and seeing a lot of arrogance and stuff, and it almost felt to me like it's a way to humble himself out and be like, look, I'm actually not necessarily into that kind of worship that all of my peers, maybe leave me alone and don't put paparazzi in my face, you know?
Well, again, it's funny too because, I mean, at this point in their career, they had accepted it, but Korn were very distinct about not being a metal band when they came out. They did not want to be labeled metal. That wasn't their thing. And then obviously their sound was so heavy that it just kind of gravitated towards that, and here they were. The other funny thing is that there was a lot of tension going on at this time around because of nu metal, because of the lack of solos, because of the more personal subject matter, which was just really taboo in the metal world. But Slayer, as a really, really deep example, came out with a record that was almost nu metal 2 years later. Metallica did the same thing, although Metallica actually called Korn their peers.
Yeah.
Sorry. History. I know I'm not allowed.
Oh, that history is fun. Fun facts.
Relevant history.
Doesn't make him as bad. Yeah, Jonathan Davis doesn't like drugs. That's what I get from this song. But it's not just that. That's actually a really shallow description of it. It's stuff like I feel the reason as it's leaving me, no, not again. It's quite deceiving as I'm feeling, no, that's made me bad. And then I think at like one of the last chords.
Feeling the flesh make me bad?
No.
Like, the lyrics are all different on this.
I know. I listen.
Feeling.
It doesn't say flesh. I didn't hear flesh. I heard feeling. I listened for flesh because I saw the debate. I just didn't hear it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I feel the reason as it's leaving me, no, not again. It's quite deceiving as I'm feeling the hate make me bad. The flesh make me bad.
Feeling that, no, I don't know. Whatever. Something's made him bad. But I got the feeling that it's him detoxing off of drugs, making him feel like sick and shit, you know, because I'm watching the rise and fall of my salvation. So much shit around me, a lack of compassion. My world is awful. I need fucking drugs. I thought it would be fun in games, you know, because drugs are supposed to feel good and fun in games. And it's all the same. It's not. I still feel shitty. I just want something to do, need to feel the sickness in you. So, drugs.
I like the line, what does it mean to you? To me, it's something I just do.
Oh, yeah. And so what I have to say is, again, in the same way that he was able to convey, like, this honesty about depression and suicidal thoughts that, like, felt like he actually felt them as opposed to he's using them, you know this guy has done some serious drugs and has had some serious detoxing moments based off of the way he's written this. His addiction is just clear as day. I think the most profound part of this song is the very last line where it's almost questioning, does that make me bad? Where it's like, at the end of the day, this psychotic battle of, like, control. And the music really reflects it. Like, you really feel his torn upness in this. Plus, it's one of those really cool ones where, like, the bass is on point and it's alive again and it's being all sorts of different songs at once.
Yeah.
And the music videos... I can't remember
the music
it.
video.
I don't remember what this one was. I think it's the school, maybe. No, I don't know. Either way, music video. I
Korn
watched
released
it,
a lot of
and
videos.
When I watched it today, I couldn't remember it. So it had the Korn dance in it again, which I remember.
Absolutely.
Also, Jonathan Davis had some weird ass facial hair back then. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe
Does he
it
not
was-
right now?
Maybe he still has it, but it's like distinct. It's like the Jonathan Davis facial hairstyle,
Because his face doesn't look like it should have a beard.
but he still does. And he has
Sometimes it does.
And it has that mustache thing. Anyway,
What does it mean to you?
yeah. So
To me,
ultimately,
it's something I just do.
So I gave this a 4.5 on 5. Like, it's groovy, it's fun. You can really feel in it. It's basically the light version of that other single, the fucking Falling Away From Me. It's like a light version of that, but it's still like as decent to listen to. It's still like worthy of being. It's like a cool example of like an actually good song on the album being used as a single to support the album's sound.
Yeah.
As opposed to like. Almost like it seems like the singles are the watered down ones. So that was really cool. And I noticed that about how they approach this. And yeah, anyway, so 4.5 on 5.
I think another interpretation that I read, but then that would make sense with the word flesh, that we were like, what is sex addiction? Because
Could
it's
be.
true, like it's just something I do, and I there was a thing where like I need to feel the sickness in you, meaning like the sickness of the like obsessed fans or groupies or whatever that he would like do things with. I mean that's do things with. There we go. That
Probably
was.
sex things.
I
Involving
mean,
fingers.
I think it could probably just be generally about addiction, but overall it's has
felt like throwing that in there.
Syd.
Okay.
Hi. Yeah. I don't know. I have 4.5.
Honestly, it makes sense about groupies too. I think like one verse is more leaning towards drugs and the other one was like leaning towards girls. And if I remember it correctly.
What is so great about this song is that it is just vague enough for it to be applied to different situations. There are other great things about the song. This song, I remember listening to it for the first time and I was hooked right away. This is one of my favorite Korn songs, hands down. I love the hip-hop influence that happens in the intro, where the guitars almost sound like samples, which again is something they're really, really, really good at doing, mimicking that kind of like late 80s, early 90s hip-hop sample sound with their guitars, but making it creepier. You wanted me to talk about the drums earlier. David Silveira, I can never figure out how to pronounce his name, is one of the most underrated drummers, I think, in hard rock. He has so much groove and there's so much funk in his drum playing. And I mean, Monkey is a great fucking bass player, don't get me wrong. Together, they are one of the tightest rhythm sections in down-tuned music. But no, he doesn't get enough praise, and he really shines through on this song. And the hook is huge. The verses are great. This is a 5 on 5 for me.
And just like that, it's going to go away. This one's short. It's wailing, it's screamy, it's singy, it's just kind of layered Jonathan making noises at us. Classic lyrics like, oh, fuck, fuck, fuck. I've got to let her go. Never let it up, let it up, let it up. Ah, let it up. I don't want this to go away. I'm so scared. I can't stand what's going on. We all crumble. We crumble under pressure, pressure. Go live it up. We're living it up. We're living it up. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Go away. Now, I know I kind of came at that at how I did because it's fucking funny, in my opinion, just how ridiculous these words sound reading them out. But when you really like think about it, you're back in his mind again. You're seeing that it's still on the same kind of topic of him not being able to cope so well with people and dealing with things quite so well. He's got this life where he's literally got to go party, kind of almost be out there with the world and shit. And he just can't handle it very well. But I could do without this particular interlude thingy. For me, it's a 4. It's okay. It's good. It came on. It ends. You don't really notice it passing as it comes to me. But like when I did listen to it, it was well done. It's experimental and it's not boring. So I can say that.
I can like almost picture him with this just like in a corner of a room like this, like freaking out, you know, and saying all these things. And I think that's very important if you're able to convey something like that.
Yeah.
Through, especially an interlude that's so short, like you really feel like exactly like you were saying, you're in his mind. And it's a nice little like, I guess, reality check of like, hey, I'm not okay. I thought it was interesting. So I give it a 4.5.
I've always kind of pictured, like, walking down a dark 80s street and there's like a liquor store sign that flickers and the guy's kind of like disheveled and half his shirt is hanging out and he's like, it's like 4 a.m. and he's just having a hard time. Especially with the music, it's got that kind of like dank street vibe to it. So I like that. I felt like this could have been a song. I don't know the...
Or the beginning of a song, like the intro
Yeah.
into a deeper thing.
So I have to dock points for the fact that it's not a song, because I think it should have
It's an
been
interlude.
4 on 5.
All right. Wake the fuck up. That's...
Was this about some sort of fight between him and his...
Well, there's a part. Okay, so this is about Jonathan Davis wishing the music industry would get along like friends in peace and harmony and remember that they all enjoy making music together.
Really? That's...
Each day more frightening. All of us want to die. The pressure is tightening. So that's societal comment. I don't even want to try. Should I take all the stupid bullshit? What makes them think they can get away with it? I'm not just happy. I wish they blah, blah, blah. Okay, but wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. I can take no more. What are we fighting for? You are my brothers. Each one that I would die for. Please just let it go. All our heads are blowing. Let's take the stage and remember what we're playing for.
Yeah, so maybe it's just having been in a band for a really long time, but I really felt this as a personal, like, why... Because bands fight all the time. It's like being in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you're stuck on a tour with your bandmates for months or years at a time, this sentiment builds up. You're always fighting. You're always disagreeing. We hit the stage every night. Remember what we fucking play for. Wake the fuck up. Like, that's how I take this song.
I mean, I think that's also part of it because the second verse is just no more fighting. I swear I'm going to leave. Taking shit despite me. I wish we'd just. So I think that there's a tone shift. I think in the one part of it, he's commenting on the state of the industry and the way people are creating this drama and this infighting and how like metal is kind of beefing within itself. But then he also internalizes it to like his band and his own people. So I think it's kind of a commentary on all things like, aren't we making music, guys? Let's just get along. It's like the nicest, I guess it's the nicest song Korn's gonna make. It's nice. It's pleasant. It's like, let's just hug it out, guys.
Well, yeah, he's not actually being very, like, vulgar or outright mean. And,
Wake the fuck up!
Well,
Yeah.
aside from that, but it's just
But
like,
that's-
guys, wake up. Like,
It's still like, yeah, he's saying
you're my brothers. Each one I would die for.
each one, man, he would die for.
Yeah.
Even Fred Durst.
I still think this is for his bandmates.
I think
I
definitely
think it
part
is
of it.
too.
Nobody argued against that. I think we argued to include more.
I guess.
So yeah, for me it's a 4.25. I don't like the hook, but I love the verses and the rest of the song. But the hook is like, it's pretty.
It's a little cheesy.
It's a little like, to quote Syd, by the numbers here. Like, this is just.
Oh my God.
butter.
Well,
Can't say that.
The
I can say
transition,
what I
the
want.
transition between the verses and the "wake the fuck up" is a little,
A little abrupt.
yeah. But I mean, I think it's just he's basically just saying what he wants to say, you know, with like, "wake up, what's wrong?" So I mean, it's a song.
It's a song.
It's 4.5.
Am I going crazy? Is that what's?
I haven't given a grade.
Oh, Sid didn't give a
Dick.
grade. Sorry, Sid. You can talk. I guess I am going crazy.
I mean, yeah. I feel the same way about the hook. And, like, I get it thematically. It's like, it's all quiet and dreamy in the verse. And then, wake the fuck up, which works. But
It's almost like an anthem, though.
I think edgy's a good way to describe that one.
it's edgy. And it's just not memorable enough. Like, I remember hearing this song for the first time and wishing that the riff had been attached to a better song because the riff is so fucking killer. Like, just that riff that comes in the beginning is so great. And then the song is kind of okay. Like, it's a 4 on 5.
All right. Now am I going crazy? Now? This song did something I've never heard before. It had one track playing backwards and one track playing forwards. So in one ear, you're hearing it start at the end and playing it in reverse back to the beginning. And in the other ear, you're hearing it in the correct direction. And it's a fucking weird song. And I listened to it a few times in a row once I realized what was happening there. And it was like, what a cool
Mind
idea. And I got to give Jonathan his props, or Korn producer man, or whichever guy actually made it happen. But that was fucking cool. I mean, lyrics are whatever. Am I going crazy? Am I going insane in days? Am I too lost to face this? Blah, blah, blah. It's cheese. But the fact that it's kind of delivered in a way where it feels crazy because you literally are hearing something different in each ear, like, that's cool. I don't think I've heard a lot of music that's ever done much like that, let alone be that kind of cool to deliver a point. So I get it as a 5, blown away by how good this interlude is, blown away by the excellent use of experimentation here.
Well, I mean, a lot of what you said is, I think, what I had to say. But yeah, no, the fact that both of the tracks, right, were played like one in reverse and one in not made it very, very creepy. And apparently this is about his, like, well, I mean, when you read the annotation again about all of his anxiety, but it just really feels like he's taking you once again into his mind, especially with the music. It's just very, very eerie, and for an interlude, it's not something you'd expect. It's just, I really liked it. I'd give it a 5 because you do feel like you're asking yourself, am I going crazy too?
I feel you, Christian. I'm right there with you on this. Sydney?
That's fair. I mean,
You're like,
points for the experiment. This doesn't have any real effect on me. Like, it's fine. It's there. Yeah, it's 4.
Hey, Daddy. Hey. Syd, how do you feel about this lovely ditty?
I really like this song. I really, really, really like the wow, 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 wow. It's a cool little lick. I appreciate it. It gets really heavy. And I like Jonathan Davis's use of falsetto on this song. I feel like one thing, too, that they started doing from this record on was just shitting effects on his voice to varying degrees of effectiveness. Whereas on the first few records, it was really raw and, like, you really felt the emotion coming through. And I appreciate that on this track, they kind of just let his voice be his voice. So this is a 4.5 on 5 for me.
Okay, how do you feel, Kristen?
How do I feel? I think, well, like you were saying, it's very emotional, more emotional than the other track, well, than some of the other tracks. Apparently this was about, and I think he did an interview on this too, saying that one of his nicknames was Daddy. So he's kind of talking to himself through this song, and also that he went through, I guess, an episode of schizophrenia at a certain point, or he said he developed it.
I think he's schizophrenic mildly.
Yeah, and so
That
he
sounds
was
right.
hearing voices, and that's why at one point too, it's saying like, you know, these voices in my head or something tell me to get out, and they tell me to hurt myself.
But he's
But I don't
not
wanna
going to
do it.
listen.
He's not going to listen.
But he's not gonna listen, and so it was kind of about him again with his addictions and his addiction to sex. Also a lot in this song, and then all these voices telling
does he
him
like
these
sex?
things. Oh, really? Yeah.
He's
And
just like Dave Duchovny.
yeah, but it's really creepy. Like
Yeah.
his falsetto, like you were saying, it's almost like you just could picture like, you know, with
Yeah,
with-
exactly.
and,
It's great. And it's great when they just let it be.
like you just hear that at the beginning of the song, and I love it. I would give it a 5. It's one of my favorite too.
I don't feel that strongly about liking it. I think it's cool. It's got a lot of that weirdness to it. I mean, I guess in context it does make sense. Looking at this from like the schizophrenic point of view of voices in his head, it also kind of feels like a little bit like, well, like, let me see, all my life has been taken, this demon haunts me, they're waiting, help me, you know, like, so I took that as like again cravings and addictions and longings and desires for like all the dark things in his life that he wants, but it could also be voices in his head, which could just kind of be the things telling him, you fuck me up, I'm gagged and bound, you pick me up when I am down, I cannot live without them, I do not live without them. See, that's where I thought it was a little bit more like drugs, right? Because like, that's the kind of shit you say about drugs. But then it could also be about any addiction. So I could see how guys who are addicted to sex, as an example, might feel that way about women's body parts.
Fun fact with schizophrenia as an actual diagnosis, with voices especially, that's one of the things that's the hardest because a lot of people who do have them don't necessarily want them to stop, because a lot of times what will happen is it will start with good voices or neutral voices that will just be there, and then suddenly they start turning bad. And people don't necessarily want things to go away. They just say, well, can we keep the good voices and get rid of the bad? And it doesn't work. So it's a very contradictory thing in itself. And I think him experiencing that and maybe not understanding it, right, and being, oh, like, you know, you fuck me up, but I cannot live without them, and I don't, because this is like, it's there, and they haunt me and help me, but this is great. I don't know, it's very, I think it describes what it feels like really accurately.
That's fair. I still gave it a 3.75.
Whoa.
Because, like, I get why y'all feel the way you do, but I don't feel that way listening to this. It doesn't have a lot to really snare me. The message is okay, and I get that he's trying to be creepy and weird with it, but I don't know. Something about this song just didn't sit right. It kind of feels like you really have to be in a particular mood for this one, whereas something like
This one?
Yeah.
Specifically?
No, I mean that specifically. I'm sorry, but I just hear like Make Me Bad's riff come on, and I feel like moving inside. A lot of Korn makes you just feel like moving, like grooving, even if it's talking about
Just
whatever.
but
this one
doesn't make you want to just like, yeah.
This one kind of just felt like a little bit more on the filler side to me compared to the other ones. And I get why. I get that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody out there, it's your favorite song and it helped you relate. But it didn't help me relate to anything, so I don't have that nostalgic connection to it. This was just, I don't know. It's also sandwiched between two songs I like more than it. So I thought Am I Going Crazy was fucking great. And then I really dig the next one more.
Which is?
Somebody.
Someone.
Syd, how do you feel about the song?
This song is a fucking classic.
It was the third promotional single that did not perform as well and was not as well received by the public back in 99.
What?
That's because people are fucking stupid. Sorry, I don't know
Opinions.
that. Some people are fucking stupid. Like 70%. No, but this song is really, 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 really good. Like, it's really, 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 really good. It's got so much groove. It's just, it's another prime example of a hip-hop sample influence coming in on the guitar, but like a Middle Eastern vibe that hadn't really been present in a lot of their music before this. And then just the like just heavy as shit, and just that big chorus, which is really relatable, of can't somebody help me, all I need is to feel love just for me. And it's like you get every syllable, the emphasis is just there, it's on point. I need somebody, someone. It's a 5 on 5.
How do you feel, Christen?
Less super enthusiastic, but I mean, I think it's just...
You're wrong.
My opinion is wrong. I think it's relatable, and it's very simple but very effective and a hit. It's catchy, and I like the build up, and then it just kind of spirals, and then again goes back to the same chorus but differently and heavier, and it's simple but like not too. It's not like a formula.
Like it's the embodiment of keep it
cookie
simple,
cutter.
stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I would give it a 4.5.
That intro is tricky and cool sounding and stuff.
But like musically, it's nothing. By
By the end of the song, though, you forget that was the beginning of the song.
I'd say it's...
Oh
cool.
yeah, I forgot about how it goes halftime and just gets super aggro at the end.
But that's why I like it, because it's just like, I need somebody, and then it's like, I fucking need somebody.
yeah.
Like, at the end, you're just dying.
More reason that this song is perfect.
It's giving vibes. Doesn't remember the song. Sorry.
I mean, look. I've been listening to this song since
it's
like.
fair. It's fair. I initially gave this a 4, but I'm gonna have to bump it up to a 4.5 on 5 because I was listening to it earlier today, and like the 6th time I heard it, I was like, I get it now, but it really took that many listens before like this song grew on me, because it at first just feels weird. Okay, the first time you hear Korn, it all sounds the same. The second time you hear Korn, you start hearing nuances, and it takes a few listens before you get used to their sound, which is scientifically proven as to how music works. And like, there's so many interesting videos lately that are covering the phenomenon of regularity in music. Still, first time you hear this kind of a song, you're probably not going to like it as much as your 5th or 6th, because it is so kind of out there and different. Even on this album, it's out there and different compared to the rest of the album.
It is very different from the rest of. Well,
I mean, for relative to how out there and different it can get on this album.
Because to say that all Korn sounds the same is not entirely untrue. But
It's still kind of untrue. But still, I mean,
they don't all sound the same.
technically, like they have different modes of heavy that they go through, and then there's Skrillex. So as
even
long as
that
Skrillex
record-
happened, you know.
sounded like Korn.
So I don't know. I mean, the video is just a fly going around a room, and you go into the fly's
this video is
eyes,
great too.
and then it's just Korn doing their playing. Like there's not a lot to it. So once
But
watch
it's
about
so simple and it's
watch about
so
45
great.
seconds of the video, you've seen the whole video.
But it's fine. It's awesome.
It's not a day where you need MTV to get your music anymore,
But
so
you
you're
need
forced
Jonathan's,
to watch like the music.
facial expressions are key.
Yeah,
And his hair
it's like
stuff.
zooming in and out of fucking what's his name? Fieldy's the bassist, not Monkey. Monkey's one of the guitarists. I'm sorry.
yes.
Sorry for messing that up.
I don't know anybody's name outside of Daniel. David,
David.
the drummer, that left the band because of an illness, I believe.
To their detriment.
And
No, not because of an illness, because they kicked him the fuck out.
Oh, I don't know anything about
They
that.
had
then.
an illness.
This
Sorry.
is bad blood.
Either way, lyrically it's
Used to be
fine.
Mad Love.
I can't stand to let you in. I'm just watching you, and I don't know what to do. Feeling like a bull inside. Feeling like I could let you hide. Thought you were my friend. Seems it never ends. To me,
somebody.
this one, and as far as the verses go, feels the most wishy-washy of the stuff. Like, it feels a little bit less like a cool, unique experience of Jonathan, and a little bit more like this is an anthem for everybody. And I guess that's what it's trying to be. And that's okay. But I felt like it was to the detriment of some of the more intimate, personal thoughts Jonathan was sharing with us earlier on. And yeah, so I guess that was just my feelings on it. I don't know, I have a lot more. 4.5. There's just no way. No way.
It's gray. It feels like something.
Some flea shit on the bass with that
He's a really
slide
good bassist.
into a hammer-on, as Syd was just saying off camera.
What's unfortunate is that his bass is down-tuned so low that a lot of people really can't appreciate what he's doing most of the time. It just sounds like slaps, which is fine, because that's the desired effect, right? It's super funky. But, okay.
What?
I'm
No,
good.
I'm not.
Please
Okay,
talk.
keep going. Keep
No, it's
going.
fine. It's
Keep
really
going.
hot in this fucking room,
It is.
and
Go
we're
ahead.
suffering for you guys.
For you.
Like Jonathan Davis would say.
This shit right here is for you.
That's right. So how do you feel, Syd or Christen?
How do you feel?
Yeah, Holden.
This one's all right. He's angry for today. He's upset. He's going through some of that emotional shit. It didn't do as much for me as some of the earlier ones. I feel like it just kind of felt like another one of the filler songs. Like they had gotten a lot of their great energy out on this album, and then this was just kind of something they were fucking around with. And yes, musically there are some really cool and interesting parts to this song from like an instrumentation point of view, and it's the selling point. But Jonathan and the lyrics and stuff, I just have a little bit connecting to it. You feel it. You feel him coming through, but hating, feeling to the place where people haunt me. I can't help but keep from falling to the place where people call me. Can't wait to get these feelings of hating. You know, it's just, I guess it's a little on the much side for this. This is something where I could say maybe I've outgrown this particular feeling a little bit, and I. You know, that I kind of had a bit. It's well done. It fits this project really well. It's as good as any of the other ones that I guess are the sound. I don't know. It didn't resonate with me properly, so I give it a 4.
I liked it a lot actually, but I liked like when you read the lyrics, right? It's like, okay, cool, and kind of the same thing, but the way he delivers everything and how it changes so often, and again, I feel like it's less effects and way more just pouring out emotion. I really like that about the song. And for some reason, I don't know, like I always sing along to it and I find myself singing the harmonies. I just like this song, the way it's written and what they use. And I mean, also the song, like, so I came too far to end up this way, right? And he's kind of like confused, and there's no way out, but also there's no way like I can let this overcome me, because like fuck this, like I'm all the way here and this sucks and I'm still making it through, so screw this. So I
But
mean,
he's also feeling like God.
yeah, so it's really, I don't know, I think like lyrically too, it's kind of like oh, I hate this and all of that, and like, but you're giving it to me at the same time, and just complete confusion. So I don't know. I think I can relate to it. I guess it has to do with outgrowing, maybe too. Like you were
I
saying,
think
depending
it's
on
like
the person.
big
But
for me part 2. It's still in that
Big for me?
line
Oh,
of
yeah.
attention and people and
yeah,
dealing with his status and stuff, you know?
I think it's the really how he delivered it that did it for me. So I'd give it a 4.5. You're like, nope.
Going by numbers. I mean,
Oh,
I'm not arguing with you this time.
especially because they do have a thing that they do a lot, and this song does that.
that's true. It kind of is. It mirrors other things, but
Yeah, and I
mean, it's
like
bad.
I get where you're coming from. I do like his vocal delivery on this track a lot
Yeah.
because it is very raw. Yeah, the riff doesn't do much for me. It's not. There's nothing really that stands out compared to a lot of other Korn riffs. So it's fine. It has its place on the record. It's a 3.8.
Yeah, so let's get this party started, motherfucker.
I'm sick of.
This is the coolest song on the album, in my opinion. I thought it was great. It's got some good hip hoppy feeling to it. It's got some dynamic aliveness to it. It's got like 5 or 6 like singing styles, and like it's almost more varied than I think anything else on the project really comes in, without resorting in the loud screaming stuff, right? Like he doesn't fall.
Let's get this party started.
But it's not screaming. It's still like this energized kind of more bopping kind of feel. Like you almost feel like his head's ready to like shoot out like that a little bit. So that's pretty cool to me. I don't fully get what this song's about, but I got the feeling it's in the same vein of Jonathan Davis struggling to deal with his position in life. Like
Go figure.
A Man Is Crying takes me to a certain place, which I
album.
don't often find.
That's Korn.
You see family, well, they have different subject matters. I mean, well, you said this one was different than the last albums historically. Just
Take
quoting
it
you
for the
now.
music.
Musically, in terms of the interludes.
Oh,
I was
boy.
thinking
Lyrically.
about. I don't know. This one, even from what I read online, this one was a little less connecting to everybody and reporting and commentating. This one was a little more Jonathan coping.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really get the feeling of that. Yeah. Anyway, that like pre-chorus, I think it's the "Sometimes I wish I could be strong for you." Doesn't matter. Each time I wake,
life I can take.
yeah. Each time I wake, I'm sorry. Somehow feeling the truth I can't handle. I don't care if it sounds like Freak on a Leash. Sid was saying it sounds
doesn't.
like Freak on a Leash. I don't care if it's the same
Same
basic
words.
structure. This sounds great to me. It's fucking fun. Let's get this party started. I'm sick of being you. You make me feel insane. We don't give to you. It's honestly, I couldn't care less what the lyrics are to this
I
fucking
thought it was
one.
"You make me feel the same," which I'll give to you.
Maybe it is.
There's more than one
could be.
part
That
to
just
it.
gave a whole other interpretation.
Well, shucks. Got to go
Still,
back and review the whole album again.
All I'm saying is, in general, I really enjoyed the sound of this one a lot. I didn't even have to it's one of those ones where when I first heard it, I just knew this was a song I'm gonna like. I'm gonna have to keep it. I hit plus on my Spotify, and boom, it became my favorite song on the album. The more I listened to it, and so it's a 5 for me. I really like this shit.
Let's get this party started.
And you?
I think, I mean, to interpret, like, I see it as kind of the same as, like, Beg for me, but he's kind of also talking to himself. So it's the same theme, again, of, like, just feeling angry and insane and crazy, but also not, and, like, where he is what's saving him. But I like the feel of it, so I would give it a 5 because it's very...
It's cool.
It's cool. It changes a lot throughout the thing, and you feel a lot of things, and then there's like that scream whisper thing at some point too. And it's not, I don't know, it's like a cool, like, let's get this party started. I'm sick of being, I don't know. I think it's
Whisper.
cool.
It's a good one. And
It's,
you?
it's a good song. It's not my favorite song on the record. I mean, I think
That's
we've
not my favorite
established
either.
I-
But
Somebody,
It's not-
Someone, and Make Me Bad are my favorite songs on this record.
Hey Daddy.
Hands down, no contest. Hey Daddy's a good one too. This song is good. The interplay specifically between the rhythm section is cool. So props to them for that, making it upbeat and shit. Yeah, the 4.3.
Cool. I wish you could be with me. This is like some solid rapping we have going on from Mr. Davis here, you know. It's really like it comes in like, I am going insane. This shit is all about the pain. I cannot retain as the I can't even do the flow right. As the shit oozes out of my brain. And he's actually like dropping little triplet flows and shit inside of this little rhyming bit here.
New metal, ladies and gentlemen.
What I thought was distinct is how like you have this like perspective, how tired I am and how she kept the best of me. At least you could look at me. At least you could look at me while you are raping me. You are taking my life, selling it tee hee hee. Why should I complain? At least whatever. So I guess he's commenting on how he's a bit of a whore in the eyes of whatever.
Or he's talking about how he was raped.
Or maybe. No, it might be that.
Could be that.
And then in the
Like
second
someone
part
knew
of
or
the
someone
song,
was
he
watching
kind of
on
like,
something, I don't know.
yeah, and in the second half, he kind of just keeps it going. I am going insane. This shit's all about pain, blah, blah, blah. At least you couldn't look at me while you were raping me. At least you couldn't look at me while you were raping me, you fucking pussy. So that's how he ends this one, and he's snapping. I give it a 4.5 on 5. The beat's pretty fucking fire. The rhyming is pretty solid. I didn't think I'd be saying that on a Korn album. Although, he doesn't normally go so rhythmic with it like that.
No, usually they'll have a guest rapper or something.
But that was like,
which is weird that they don't on this record. That just occurred to me.
So that happened, and yeah. So ultimately 4.5. Fun listen, little interlude skit thing.
It's cute. I liked it. It's 4.5.
I don't really. I mean, I'm very neutral about this. I give it a 4. It wasn't bad. It was neutral. That's
They were
it.
counting on you, Kristen.
This is the last song, right?
No.
Yes, you do. One day you'll pay for me.
So this song appears to be about numbers and counting stuff in the and okay, it's about the industry and the fans and all that other bullshit.
Counting.
So like, I can't bear to face what's growing in my head. Please get away from me. Take advantage of what I feel. Yes, you do. One day you'll beg for me. What is beg for me about? How the fans and stuff and the obsession, the industry and stuff. He's going meta. He's pulling some Kendrick moves here as he's linking some shit up. I guess Kendrick. Okay, maybe Kendrick copied Korn. No, not that. That would be a
Neither
weird.
of those bands were the first guys to do it. But sure, themes.
You just see me as something you throw around. You are there for me, beaten down to the ground. Yes, it always seems you take more from me. And blah blah blah. I like the end part. It's funny how it gets started. They get their money from grabbing fingers on you. They get their money and the girls and the fame. I only do it for the fun. That's my game. So you get the sense that he's pure. He's basically like the old hip hop head going, I keep it real while everyone else is a fake studio gangster. That's what Jonathan Davis is saying on this song. I keep it real. Y'all are fake studio gangsters. I'm in it for the passion. Y'all count your whatevers. And that's what I just clicked there.
Can y'all explain what kind of land is this? What? How does it go?
I don't know.
Fucking.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but I can't do it now. 4 on 5 for me. It's a cool song. It's okay. I think the music again outshines Jonathan on this. Like the band is on it. I thought Jonathan would be my favorite part of this, but no, that bass and rhythm section is tight on every fucking song.
Korn in general, I think, are very underrated musicians because of the style of music they make and the stigma that's attached to it. Like, this is really angsty and heavy. I don't really want to listen to this. Like, they are top-notch musicians. And super funky, and people always forget that. I know I've said it already, but
they are funky.
They started as a fucking funk band, just super down-tuned, and got shoved into metal.
Yes. But yeah, all that to say, it kind of was a bit annoying to listen to this one. I felt the counting on shit was a bit grating, so 4 on 5.
I guess it kind of tries to hammer that theme home. But I mean, compositionally, this song is top-notch. I think more so than a lot of the other tracks on this record. It's really special in that sense, and really loose, especially in the rhythm, which is something that they only get very few opportunities to play around with. Like, it happened a lot on their first record, and it didn't really happen again until this particular song. So that's really cool. I mean, this song is a 4.8 for me.
I mean, I think it's just, and again, like in some interview at some point, he had said like, it's about more the industry keeping score and him constantly suppressing things, but they will be there counting, as I was doing before, and everything is just about making money and about the label, and you aren't there for me, right? But I don't know, it's not my favorite song, but it's not a bad song. I'd give it a 4.
That's okay. you're dirty. Does it say
Cool.
dirty little boy, or does it say dirty little fuck?
Or potentially dirty little whore.
And is Rick and Morty a great show? The answer is yes.
And it's guys like him. And then so yeah, basically there is a dirty little whore in there, but the last little part where he's going a dirty little boy, dirty little fuck, that's what the debate is on the lyrics on songmeaning.com. There is fucking a thread like fucking that. There was no other thread on any other Korn song on Song Meaning on this album. But this one had it a lot. And it fucking goes in and they were just, it's clearly saying boy. No, it's clearly saying that's what Jonathan says fuck. No, that's how it, and it was really fun.
Clearly saying Yanny.
It's Laurel.
It is Laurel,
I know. Wait,
by the way.
it's did you guys hear Laurel or Yanni? Let us know.
Science says it's Laurel.
Oh, my buddy in Ukraine heard Yuri.
I know you told me.
Yeah, but I didn't tell them.
What you're conditioned to hear.
But science says it's Laurel.
No,
Your
it's not that it's
I know
science.
I
It's
am.
the sound file says it's Laurel, and you can.
It's the guy said Laurel.
It has to do with the frequencies.
Yes. Anyway.
It's a good song, probably.
So this song
remembered
actually, okay, if they were going to say Korn by numbers in the most positive possible way to spin that, like everything you want out of a Korn song thrown together with all the cliches, I would say this is it from my understanding of Korn singles.
I actually disagree, simply because of the bass line, which is much more melodic than 90% of the shit they put out.
Fair, but I feel like the structure, the lyrics, the way Jonathan's wailing, all
Of that happens on every Korn song.
Yeah, but this song is particularly good with it. Like,
It's good.
It's really like it's like a step above almost most songs on the album. I gave a few a 5. Giving this a 5. This is right up there with the quality of like the top notch ones. I mean, lyrically, it's keep knocking, no one's there, pouring me down, near be felt. I'm out there ready to blow my head off. I hurt so bad inside. I wish you could see the world through my eyes. Each day is just the same. I just want to laugh again.
Triggered.
That's the last line. I just want to laugh again.
Just want to laugh
I
again.
just want to laugh again.
But like
And he ends
really,
it like,
this one is you really feel like you're back inside. It's back to being really personal. You're back to really feeling his desire for normalcy, his whatever. And then inside of his mind, just the berating, the self-berating rumination that's flowed out. It really captures it a lot. And then we'll talk about the static before we're done with this, but we'll get to the static. How do you guys feel about this?
4.5.
It's my favorite song. But I think
Like
it's a
in
really
the world?
well out of the album. I don't know what my favorite song in the world is. Depends on the day. But
Despacito.
All-Star
Oh,
by
yeah.
Smash Mouth.
That's a good song.
It is.
the
Okay, but
thing,
go on.
yeah, the thing is though that I think it's a really good way to end the album because you're going through all these different things and at the end I hurt so bad inside, right? I wish you could see that. Like each day is the same. I just want to laugh again. Like nice and simple. There's all this stuff, all these metaphors, all this, and it's just like fuck, I'm not happy. And I think it's a cool way to end it, and I really like the sound, and I really like it. So yeah.
And then there's 4 minutes
give it a
of
5.
static. And then she gave it a 5. There's 4 minutes of static. Now, it's not just static, allegedly. Now, here's where the allegedly comes out. So, in my goose hunting on the internet, I found out that apparently if you run this thing through, they took the alternative version of Am I Going Crazy, which is the bonus track to this album, reversed it, put it on top of another reverse thing, and laced it underneath that static. So, if you're actually a sound engineer and you actually know what the fuck you're doing, you should be able to go underneath that static and pull out and get that version of this song. And I couldn't find substantiated proof of anyone doing this. So that's why I was curious if any of y'all have ever heard of this. And I'm like, because if Korn did that and actually like hit a hidden track, and then I found out there are people who have hidden tracks, not just 18 silence seconds, 18 minutes of silence.
I think Pink Floyd used to pull shit like that.
But so I got really curious about hidden songs like that. And there's a bunch of examples I thought that were super interesting. Stuff like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones had a hidden track that you had to reverse the album, starting it at track 1 and doing geeky shit to get to the bottom of it. And then you would find some song. And then digital music came around and it became really hard to hide songs on your album. And they changed that shit up. But if you guys know about if Korn actually did that, please let us know because that would be fucking cool. And it would really make that 4 minutes extra cool. Now it just kind of sounds like, let's be edgy.
Yeah.
For 4 minutes.
Again,
But
the album before this started with 12 tracks of 5 seconds of silence, which I thought was fucking brilliant. This is cool.
If they hit a song, though, extra cool.
Extra cool, but still fucking cool.
Yeah.
Just on its own merit.
Yeah.
Just what a dick move.
Yeah.
Because you buy a record, it's 25 tracks, 12 of them are nothing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but that was the last stuff.
I
This
know.
album was static.
The record before this is, well, it's not a masterpiece,
One
but it's
day-
really good.
So if you guys want us to, we can talk about that. But let's wrap this one up. For this album, I'm going to give it like a 4.5. Honestly, I was blowing away. There are some songs I really fucking like on this project. There are some songs I think are good and okay. And then there are some songs that are right at that 4.5, 5 range. And I think that I was maybe a little bit ignorant to how good Korn really is. Like, Korn may come off looking a certain way, they may sound a certain way to you at first listen, but when you really like compare them against what makes some of the better albums, this album exhibits a lot of the characteristics of a good album. Maybe the sound isn't something that everyone loves, but moving past preference, this is well-made music for the most part. So kudos to Jonathan Davis and the boys and all of that good stuff.
475.
That's
Okay.
it?
I mean, okay, well, it is one of my favorite albums, so I mean, maybe it's a little biased or something, but I just, from everything you said, I don't know. I like it. I think it's very deep,
That's fair.
simply put.
I'm always biased as shit when we're talking about my favorite records. If we do Slipknot next week, you'll hear a lot of bias.
Slipknot.
This is a 4 for me. I like the singles. It's got some of my favorite Korn songs on it. But in terms of balance, a lot of it for me personally is very forgettable. And that's just how it is. I like other Korn records more. I like other Korn records less. It fits.
Classic. So that would bring us to the end of this little round of the Rock and Beards podcast where we talked about Korn's issues. Get it? So thank you for being with us.
First
Without
people
you,
to ever make that joke.
yeah. Thank you for being with us. Without you, there's no point. The fact that you guys watch us is always really cool to me.
But it hurts us on the inside. We're doing this shit for you.
Jonathan Davis style. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews. We are all over with content, but if you like what we do, and you want to see specific stuff, tell us in the comments. And if you like the video, hit that like button. And if you do want to enter a request raffle and actually maybe get some support to the channel so we can make better shit, Patreon's a thing. Thank you, Mozart. Thank you, Lindell Williams. On that note, I want to do Slipknot next week because I'm really into new metal again. Woot! Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Bye. Peace.